Engine 11, Engine 12, Engine 31, Rescue 32, Battalion Chief 1, and Tower 15 responded Edgewater Beach Drive off of Heritage and Leeds Drive in reference to a house fire. Unknown if everyone is out of the residence at this time. Flames have been seen and there is ash falling near.
Engine 11 is arrived on scene. Single story, wood frame residential structure. Put a fire through the roof. Engine 11 is going to pull a 2.5-inch hand line. Next to engine, bringing a 5-inch. Third engine, established RIT. Rescue 32, pull a backup line to a 360 and assess exposures. Engine 12 firefighter, go ahead. Give us water. Be aware we got heavy smoke coming out of the attic. Probably got quite a bit of fire in the attic above your head. Copy. All units exit the structure at this time. All units exit the structure. Drivers, sound your air horns.
I'm Gary Ballard, the Fire Chief of the Lakeland Fire Department. I'm excited that you are about to learn more about the fire service from our firefighters and staff. They will share with you some insight into the work of a firefighter and the lifestyle that comes with it. If you have a willingness to help others and a desire to make a difference in someone's life, then the fire service may be just the place for you to discover your true calling in life. The people you are about to see are the real deal. They will share with you their experiences, challenges, and joys from their fulfilling careers in the fire service.
Engine 11, respond to West 7th Street, across the street, Kettles Avenue, in reference to a fall.
I'm from Colombia. I'm from a city, from the capital, Bogota. Once I was here and I saw what America was all about, I wanted to be part of the American dream. I always liked anything that had to do with the fire department. I didn't know that females could work in the fire service, that was a big shock for me. I went to the academy. I saw some students doing their work, and that was like love at first sight for me.
I grew up on several old TV shows that some of you may never heard of, but Adam 12 being a show for police officers and Emergency being the TV show for firefighters. And in watching those two shows, that pretty much narrowed down my choices to wanting to be a firefighter. So as I kept growing up through school, I kind of kept that in the back of my mind as a career until finally I became a volunteer firefighter. And once I did that, I decided that I definitely wanted to be a career firefighter.
I was able to go to a fire camp. It's called Firestorm. And you sacrifice your whole spring break to become a fireman for a week. We woke up early morning, 7 a.m. We got up, we did PT, we dressed in bunker gear, we learned anything and just about everything you could about the fire service. And from that moment on, it sparked the fire in me that made me want to become a fireman.
I was working here at Lakeland. I worked at 3 different new car dealers. My wife then saw an ad for an auto mechanic 2 position available at the city. And it denoted fire, but I didn't know specifics about it. I applied for that job and got interviewed and was eventually hired. And it was probably the best career move I ever made.
I think the first time I stayed my bathroom up and threw my little brother in there and told him to play dead. And I went in with my mom's big purse, put it on my back, and drug him out. I think at that point I wanted to be a fireman. It's always a little boy or a little girl's dream to be a fireman. I guess there's something fascinating about this job, but I stuck with it.
That's how I really became a firefighter, is at a gym I was working out at. There was a lieutenant there, and he said it might be a good fit for me. And once I got in class and started learning more about what it took, I fell in love.
I was the dark sheep of the family there. Thought the drug dealers were my brothers and my father's figures out there, so I was running with the wrong crowds at the time. But I had a friend who encouraged me once I got out of school, was just try my hand at the fire department. They was hiring, and the fire department hired me back on February 16th, '87.
All throughout high school, I worked at the golf course, and when I got out of high school, me and a friend of mine were talking about what we want to do with our life. And he had mentioned to me one day if I ever thought about being a firefighter, and I obviously never had. He knew a couple of guys that worked for the City of Lakeland Fire Department and that they really enjoyed their job, and he thought that may be something that he and I were interested in. So we went started looking to see what it take. Eventually we applied for the Fire Academy, we got accepted, and we went through the Fire Academy.
Engine 21 from the Brassmans Boulevard, number 107. In reference to chest pain.
So a typical day at the fire station is probably a lot different than what a lot of people would expect. I think there's a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions out there that firemen are just sitting around playing checkers and scratching the Dalmatian on the head waiting for a call to come in. Really starts out usually with the firefighters getting an apparatus assignment and figure out what truck they're going to be on for the day. They go from there and check their equipment, check their truck, have to keep everything in a state of readiness. We move from that into maintenance of our facilities and our apparatus. We usually roll from that into training. All these things we accomplish while sometimes running 10 to 20 emergency calls for the shifts and doing all the documentation and reports that go along with that.
Well, over time, traditionally, we began as just a fire department, and there was first aid. And as time progressed and we saw that we were running more calls in the field that were medical in nature, you would end up having sort of a level of a first responder. And then as time went on, the standard became the emergency medical technician. And now in the field, what you have is the direct extension of a physician's hand, the emergency medical technician paramedic. So our level of care now is much higher than what it was before. And it equates to most of what we do as a fire department is the rescue and the medical and or trauma part of the job.
When I first started Lakeland Fire Department back in '87, I started at station number 1. Within 3 months, I was at station 3, which is one of our busier fire stations here. My lieutenant at the time encouraged me to start taking assessment center tests for driver engineer. That lieutenant encouraged me to start looking into assessment centers for lieutenant. Once I got there, he encouraged me to start taking outside classes to improve my writing, become a better writer as a lieutenant. From there, he encouraged me to be a battalion chief, where I'm at today.
Well, I'm the fire equipment supervisor for the Lakeland Fire Department. I have 2 mechanics under me. We are all ASE master technicians in either truck or automobile. We also have a master fire categories in the Emergency Vehicle Technician Certification Commission. We work on the department's engines, aerials, automobiles, light trucks, utility vehicles, generators, jaws of life. Part of our job description is attending the fire standards. That gives us some basic knowledge of how the equipment that we work on functions out on an emergency scene, so we can know more about reliable piece of equipment and how it needs to function on the fire scene, and we also fight fire as well if needed.
USAR stands for Urban Search and Rescue, but basically it's a technical rescue team. It covers basically 5 disciplines: confined space, rope rescue, trench excavation, vehicle machinery rescue, and structural collapse. And then another one they're adding, water rescue. And that's if for Florida, like a hurricane, natural disaster like that.
On a normal structure fire, we send a command vehicle with a battalion chief, 3 engine companies, a little rescue company, and then the truck company or the tower company. If everything goes textbook, the battalion chief will arrive on scene first and he'll assume command. He'll then make all his assignments. One of his assignments will be for the first engine to pull hose lines off the truck and begin to attack the fire. Then the next assignment will be for the second engine to establish a RIT team, which is a team that's going to stand outside and be there just in case something catastrophic happens and we have to go save one of our own firefighters. The third engine will be coming in, catching the fire hydrant, and supplying the first engine. The truck company's primary function, when they get there, is going to be doing a primary search. And that's where we go in and we try and find any viable victims inside the structures and remove them to safety.
The training division plays a lot of different roles. Most importantly, when we receive new hires, we train them up to a certain standard, but it also involves a lot of incumbents, driver engineers, firefighters that have been here for a time period, also at the officer level. And it's very imperative that we're all on the same sheet of music and we respond to calls and we do it professionally and we do it flawlessly every time, because if not, it could cost someone's life.
Engine 31, Engine 11, Engine 12, Rescue 42, Battalion Chief 2, and Truck 15, all units being route for structure fire.
Something I really enjoy here at the fire service, honestly, over all days, it has to be the brotherhood. And also just, I would say the camaraderie, the family that you build while you're here is one of the highlights for me. I really feel like I'm at home.
The fire service is called a brotherhood, and it's called that for a reason. You spend so much time with these guys, they truly become like family. You know, I spend more time with the guys that are on my truck than I do with my wife and kids at home. You start to become so close with these guys, you form such a special bond that you know everything that's going on in their lives and their families' lives. You start to hang out on your days off. get involved in helping each other out with projects, and it really truly becomes like brothers and sisters.
I think in a career as long as I've been in 25 years, I think the perk of the job is the family atmosphere with the people that you work with, because you're living with them every third day. So it's become a close-knit family.
Yeah, we pretty much live around the station. It's just like being at home. You know, we've got details. We've got to clean the inside of the station. We've got to cook together, clean the truck, make sure all the tools are in working order. And everybody has a job role there. I mean, you live with these people a third of your life. You have a hard time not being good friends with them.
Once I started here, the challenge was to prove myself to everybody in the department that I was able to do the job. Everybody here has been very nice. From the first day, the lieutenant that I was assigned and my crew, they were there every step of the way to support me and to lead me the right way.
Rescue 22, respond at East Oakbridge Boulevard, reference to altered mental status.
Ever since day one, we've always had opportunities to go out and get education. We had the support of the city with the educational reimbursement program and the opportunity to have time off to go to school and things like that. So it really benefited me hugely, because never ever thought coming out of high school that I would be going on to college and getting degrees and doing as well as I have.
I was attracted to the schedule when it's 24 on, 48 off. So in actuality, I only work 10 days a month, but the downside is when you're up all night and the next day you rest and trying to rest, but when you're raising a family, that's not always feasible.
Yes, I'm grateful that I have. They gave me the opportunity, number one. It opened doors for me to mentor, opened doors for me to mentor and coaching, but it also encouraged many young men to look and seek the fire department because of that mentoring and family organization we have there.
The entry-level firefighters get into the business because they want to put out fires and they want to save lives. And as you progress through your years of service, you start to realize that, you know, fighting fire and extrications and technical rescues it's hard work. And so I saw that there was an opportunity for me to move into a different phase of the fire department, to give back in a different way. And although we are not touching lives the same way the firefighters do, we are touching lives in the sense that we're making connections with business people to help them to keep their businesses safe, building relationships with those people in order to help them to be in compliance with the life safety code.
Yes, I have some aspirations as well. Hopefully I'll be able to get into paramedic school to further my education in that field so I can become a paramedic instead of just being an EMT. Also looking to take any driver engineer courses that I possibly can take in the near future. I'm also considering to take some ARF classes for aerial firefighting.
For firefighters, like I said, we offer recruit training, but after they're done with that, they can go into our specialty disciplines, and also they can do driver engineer classes and also officer classes. We do offer specialty training, one of which is ARF, or Aircraft Rescue Firefighting. We also offer technical rescue training, structural collapse, confined space rescue, trench rescue, vehicle and machinery rescue, high angle rescue, and we practice those on a monthly basis, and that is part of our USAR discipline.
Engine 41, being routed to Edgewater Beach Drive to assist Battalion Chief 1, Engine 11, and other units in reference to the fully involved structure fire.
Though we may have different personalities and be from different cultures and different backgrounds, so to speak, we all have one mission in mind, and that's to serve and help our community. And so when you get people with the same mind, I think anything is possible.
The most important thing is we need to provide a safe apparatus to all our employees. The brakes, engine performance all need to be top-notch and checked on a regular basis by me and my team.
Once you prove yourself and you're pretty much accepted and you're in, all in all, I really think that we try to all back each other up. It's a team job. You don't do it by yourself.
We train more for fires than we do anything else because it's very critical in teamwork. You know, you may be training with another crew that we haven't even seen for weeks, but you got to be able to work with everybody. You know, you've got crews that are going in fighting fire. You've got other crews that may be, you know, looking for a trapped victim, somebody else controlling the utilities. We've got to have the guys out bumping the trucks.
Rescue 42, respond to staging area on Memorial Boulevard, reference to a gunshot victim.
Most people don't realize that firefighters spend a third of their life with their new fire department family. While that's important, the other side of that is that That's a third of their life that they're not with their true family members, their loved ones. It's an unfortunate fact that last year, over 100 firefighters died in the line of duty in the United States. Along those same lines, there were over 70,000 firefighters injured in the line of duty last year. This is an inherently dangerous business. So it's very important that as our candidates come in and new firefighters come in, they understand the sacrifices. It's about selfless acts. It's about the whole as opposed to the individual, and it's about serving others.
Being hurt at an incident changed my perspective. I realized that I could get myself into trouble, and that just made you more aware of the surroundings. But when you're first young, when you get into it, you don't think about that. And we were making entry, checking for extension. We had a collapse, and there was 3 of us that were caught in the collapse. Here I am, a young man. I had just recently got married, and next thing, I'm in the emergency room calling my new wife to come and get me at the hospital because I'd been injured at a fire. It's just something that doesn't happen to you. It always happens to somebody else.
I always hear, you work 24 hours on, you get 48 off. So you work a day and you basically get a weekend. And while those things are true, when you really stop and think about it, we spend a third of our lives at the fire station away from our families. Every third day we're here, we're on duty. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or New Year's Eve or Thanksgiving or even one of your kids' birthdays. If that's your duty day, we have to be here. So this job will reach pretty deep into your personal life. It'll reach deep into your soul.
The perks of the job, of course, is really helping people that are in need and feeling you're part of the community and being there when people are truly in need. And the schedule. I really do love my schedule. Of course, the bad part is seeing the tragedy that happens in people's lives. There's a certain amount of sadness that some firefighters carry with them, I think, from seeing what we see. It's been the best and the worst job I've ever had.
There's some highs about the job that obviously when you can work together as a team and mitigate an emergency incident, it feels good to know when you're back at the station, when you've come together with your family. Those are the highs. It's rewarding for the most part. Sometimes it's not so rewarding. There's things that are out of your control. You run calls and there's people that just can't be helped. Those are the lows. And unfortunately that comes with the job.
I'll say, honestly, the most difficult challenge is being ready to jump out of your bed 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, even 6 o'clock in the morning. Some nights they don't end, and so some nights you are running calls constantly, and you have to be on your A game because you could be entering a scene where it's a serious fire, or it could be a serious medical call, and you have to utilize all the skills that you have to help that person.
The equipment we wear is probably about 60 pounds in weight. So even before we get to a structure fire, especially in the summer here in Florida, we're already sweating pretty good. On top of the bunker gear, we also have our air pack. But with all that tied together, yes, it is a high heat environment, but it's not unbearable to the actual person or firefighter operating in that. Now the civilian who may be inside, that would be deadly to them.
Engine 31, Engine 61, Rescue 32, Engine 11, Battalion 2, Tower 15, respond to Quail Hill Drive, represent kitchen on fire.
The qualities that you should possess as an individual if you want to get into the firefighting field is a team player, a lot of compassion, loyalty, integrity. And if you're adventurous and you like excitement, you're able to be a part of a team, I think the job would be great for you. But it's got to be in your heart. When I think being a fireman is the best kept secret, it's very rewarding in the fact I'm able to come to work and provide a service. We're able to go out and help and feel good about it.
There are several qualities we look for in a young candidate, but the biggest one we always look for is attitude. If you've got a great attitude and you just want to help others, then this job's going to be a lot of fun for you and we're going to be able to work with you. We're showing up to people's houses and it's not the best time in their life. In fact, it's often the worst time in their lives. We have to be able to handle the scene professionally. We have to be able to treat the victims as they need to be treated. And by doing all this properly, we're going to make that bad day for that customer a little bit easier for them. Our job is to try and help them emotionally through the process.
If I had to give advice to anybody aspiring to be a firefighter, I would probably just tell them to stay humble and to stay hungry. When you're humble, you're able to approach this knowing that you don't know everything, knowing that it has to be earned, but also stay hungry because it can be a difficult process.
The relationship that you have as a firefighter is really one of a public servant, and you have to begin with that servant's heart. The relationship we have is built on trust, and when we go to people's homes. What we do is try to properly preserve their dignity, to be respectful, and be polite in everything we do, and keep in mind that we're there to serve them, and they're our biggest fans. We want to treat everyone as if they're our biggest fans and not damage those relationships.
It's not for everybody, but if you have a place in your heart where you feel like you really want to help people, it's definitely an opportunity for that. There's a lot more medical aspect to the job than you might realize. I would definitely encourage it. It's a good job with good benefits, good retirement, and there's not too much of that out there anymore.
You definitely have to be hands-on, and you have to be a thinker, a hard worker, a problem solver. You have to have the desire to continue want to learn things and try new things. But basically, you're given a puzzle. Here's this predicament. You got to figure out how to get this person out safely. You have to, a lot of times, think outside the box and think of different plans and get them out that way.
The reason why I would suggest the fire department, if you played any type of sports, it's a team sports. In the fire department, you need everyone for a team to accomplish your task. It's the same concept from Little League up to a professional firefighter.
For somebody wanting to be a fire safety inspector, it's a great career. They can start off as a firefighter, they can gain some basic knowledge, and if they have the right personality and they have the right desire to move into fire safety management, it's a rewarding career because you touch the public in a different way than they do as a firefighter. Where firefighters may only see that person for a brief period of time, we see these owners and these business owners on a regular basis.
What I would tell somebody that was young that they're thinking about this as a career, to be sure, because it's not something that you want to go in and say, well, I think I want to go in there and I want to try it, because it's not going to work. Once you go through all the required training to do this job, and then we tell the new guys that come in that it doesn't stop there, that it continues on throughout your career, it's got to be something that you're committed to.
A person was into team sports, like to be part of clubs, they pretty much would fit the profile to be a firefighter. You've already got the foundation for the job.
They're going to work hard. We demand nothing less, and they're going to start in a rookie orientation, which is going to last about 3 weeks. We're going to teach them the Lakeland Fire Department way. And their first year, they're going to have rookie modules, or what we call personnel qualification standards. And after that year, then we will go into driving a rescue and training them to step up drive the engines, and then looking forward to providing officer training and things of that nature in service.
The fire service is very rewarding, but it's important that our new firefighters understand the true meaning of service. It means being able to respond to help a neighbor at a moment's notice. It is very unselfish, and that is not without sacrifice. Service may mean rendering aid to someone that is in need of emergency medical care. It may mean simply holding a hand. It may mean simply listening. It may mean picking an elderly person up from a floor that has fallen. Or ultimately, it may mean searching a burning building for an unknown victim. These tasks come with sacrifices. The service is not about the individual, it's about the whole.
Duty, honor, and integrity all help to build the most important of the 4 principles, trust, in our public. They trust us to come into their homes, amongst their personal property, to leave things safe and secure. They're also trusting us with their life and making life or death decisions on their behalf.
The purpose of me doing this and us doing this video as a department is to try to reach out to a broader audience, to be able to connect maybe with some kids that were in the same boat that I was in when I was 16, 17 years old, when I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life, and just to tell them kids that they have options, and if they thought they wanted to be in the public service and to give back to the community and have a rewarding career, just to open their eyes and let them think about it the way that somebody gave me that opportunity as well. Look at me, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Thank you for joining us and learning more about the fire service and the Lakeland Fire Department. I hope you will soon find your passion, and when you do, you will find great success.
Please visit www.lakelandgov.net/LFD for more information about employment opportunities with the Lakeland Fire Department.